Do you have any regrets from your childhood? I do. When I was a primary school student, something happened to me that I still can't let go of. It happened like this. There was a classmate in our class whose family was rich. He was also arrogant and liked to have everyone around him to please him. I was the exception. So we didn't have a good relationship. One day, his family bought him an MP3 player. For us at that time, this was a relatively new and expensive toy. He would always take it out to show off during breaks, and a large group of classmates would always gather around him, looking even more excited than he was. That afternoon, there was a physical education class. I felt dizzy and uncomfortable, so I asked the teacher for permission to go back to the classroom. My head was spinning, and I fell asleep on my desk. I couldn't hold on until the next class, so I asked the teacher for permission to go home. When I came to school the next day, I saw that a group of classmates were looking at me with strange eyes. They whispered to each other after I turned around. When I got to the classroom, that classmate started swearing at me in front of everyone, saying that I had stolen his MP3 player. I was completely confused. Then the teacher called us to the office. I told them everything that had happened the day before and tried my best to explain that I hadn't even been near his seat. According to the teacher's description, only I had come to the classroom early the day before, and then I had gone home halfway through. In addition, I had a bad relationship with that classmate. They believed that I had a motive for jealousy, the time to commit the crime during the PE class, and the opportunity to hide the stolen goods when I went home halfway through. I realized that everything seemed to be reasonable. I didn't know what happened when I was asleep, or whether he lost or damaged the toy. No matter how the teacher persuaded me, educated me, warned me in a loud voice, or threatened to call the police, I could only helplessly explain over and over again that I did not steal his things. However, in the eyes of the teacher and classmates, this was a sign of not repenting. In the end, the school issued a public criticism, and I was forced to transfer schools. Until today, I still remember clearly that I was a thin boy crying in the office over and over again, how helpless I was at that time, and how I remembered rolling up my luggage and fleeing in the face of the mocking eyes of my teachers and classmates. I was too young to know how to protect my rights, and the truth of the matter had already been buried. However, this misunderstanding became a crack in my childhood, and every time I gazed at it, it made me unforgettable. Years later, I saw this saying,瓜田不纳履, Li下不整冠, don't put your shoes on in a melon field, don't adjust your hat under a plum tree. I realized that even though time has passed through the ages, human nature has not changed. The ancients had already summed up the lessons and given you wise advice. 瓜田不纳履, Li下不整冠. The original text is 君子方为然，不出现意见。瓜田不纳履，李下不整冠 is a proverb from the Han Dynasty in China. It means that you shouldn't bend down to pick up your shoes in a melon field, or you'll be mistaken for stealing watermelons. You shouldn't adjust your hat under a plum tree, or you'll be mistaken for stealing plums. It warns us not to be in a dangerous situation that will make people suspicious or do things that will cause misunderstandings. Otherwise, you will not be able to explain yourself. In English language, there's a similar saying, better safe than sorry. For example, when something happens or an accident happens, if the person involved does not want, is unwilling, or cannot bear the consequences, then someone will need to bear the responsibility. At this time, the truth of the matter is no longer important. I still have some regrets about this experience. I wish I had done something to protect myself. I also wish I had been able to clear my name. But I know that I can't change the past. I can only learn from this experience and move on. Small stories, big truths, for children's education or self-awakening. If you love it, please click the subscribe button. Or you find this video helpful, please share it with those who need it.